A good day. It's another beautiful day on the program Journalists Explain this on NSTV Lagos. So, right, don't forget you can actually watch us live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course TikTok on NSTV Lagos and Go TV 31 channel 316. Right, don't forget to like, comment, and of course share. And on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe right there on our page on YouTube, NSTV Lagos. So welcome to Journalists Explain this, whereby we're talking about topical issues when it concerns injury, and of course, you as a listener, right there. Of course, the studio is packed with full house, so definitely we have I myself, Stephen Ajayi, Shegun Aide, and of course, the Nicholas Muchoko right there. We'll be discussing about the topical issues. There's a good afternoon.
And the topical issues we are bringing on board is about the news that has been circulating. When the courts in Ibadan granted Oriyomi Hamzat, the proprietor of Agidigbo FM, bill, and then the former queen of ex queen of Oni Risha,
Mm.
bill two, and plus the principal of Islamic high school that was granted bill. But they had issues because of the funfair they had in December last year, where about 35 children died. We would like to look at it. Do you think with what really happened, do you think as a common man, in the first place, do you think these people should be arrested for such incident that happened?
Thank you very much. Thank you, listeners. I'm not a common man.
Okay, I said for the common man. I said for the common man. I didn't say you are a common man.
Don't mind me. First of all, when you look at the way you frame the question, you could see now that we are talking about royalty, the populace,
Hmm.
the Islamic group, and the end of the year attempt at charity, which has snowballed into a national issue. So the way we look at the issue is a function of the parties involved. Now, this case has gone from the hoi polo, that is the common people, to the police, religious groups, and now a court case. So it depends on what you really want to pinpoint and what you want to go into it and how you want to view it.
Basically,
So
we are
maybe
looking.
you have to ask me a more specific question, then I know how I respond. But it is in public knowledge that Queen Naomi, in conjunction with Oriyomi Hamzat, tried to do some charity work, which led to a stampede, and it has now become an issue for the courts. So I have to be asked more peculiar and specific questions, so I give you
Actually,
more specific
we are looking
replies.
at the four count charge that the three we are being slammed with: conspiracy, acceleration of death, negligence act, and causing harm, and death to the children, and failure of adequate security. Those are the things that are looking at that were brought up in the court before they are being granted. We just want you to share a view on that.
Okay, well, let us look at the intention of the event. It is a well-known fact that the hunger is in the land across the 30 states, across the geopolitical zones, and hunger knows no religion, tribe, or political affiliation. Everywhere in the world, newborn babies want to be breastfed. Where they are found, how they are breastfed is a function of the quality of the mother. Some are in IDP camps, some are in palaces, some are in presidential mansions, some are even in prisons. Now, Queen Naomi and Hamzat tried to do their own bits through charitable and philanthropic acts, which is an Islamic and Christian virtue. It's even a pre-Christian and pre-Islamic virtue to show love to the vulnerable, the poor, and the weak. But when you look at the scenario, because of the level of hunger, the numbers of the people they were expecting was beyond what they planned for. And everywhere in the world, in a university auditorium, you can have a large crowd and there will be stampede because the people there want to listen to a lecture either on the matriculation day or a convocation day. In the Maracana in Brazil, you can have over 100,000 people watching a football match. And when Brazil wins, there's no stampede. In an orchestra, You could have over 2,000 persons coming to listen to a Picasso, a Mozart, a Nathaniel Bassi, a Sonny Ade, and Obey. And because they are all there to be happy, there's no stampede. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
You could have people want to listen to an Awolowo in Liberty Stadium, or Nnamdi Azikiwe in the cathedral in Enugu. The cathedral is where Rangers play in Enugu. And the people are happy because they are listening to Zik. But everywhere in the world, where the motivation is to get food, whether in the first ward, second ward, or the third ward, the likelihood for a stampede is high. No matter the number of policemen, the ambulance you bring in there. And that is why if you look at when Christ multiplied the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, Andrew and Peter, Bartholomew and John, his disciples wanted the people to go because it was a multitude. And don't forget that the Jewish state was a patriarchal state. So when you hear 5,000 in any Jewish texts of a gathering, they are likely to be 10,000 because they won't include the women and children. But what did Christ say? He told Peter and John, he said, make them sit. Christ foresaw what's entropy or disorderliness a hungry, angry crowd can mean. And when they sat down, the scripture said they were all fed and they took over, they packed some leftovers. Don't also forget that the same Christ, somewhere in the scripture, he was to be mobbed. And the Bible said he quietly slipped from the crowd. So the tendency of a stampede is a function of what motivates the crowd. And wherever people gather because of hunger or a need for healing, stampede is close. Don't forget to, with due respect to my Muslim brothers, I am more conversant with Christian examples. Christ was in the house of a man in the scripture, and the man was weak and needed succor. There was so much crowd that his friends had to take him to the top of the roof. They removed the roof and they landed the man. That's why sometimes too, even in crusades, the need to see the man of God is always high because everybody wants to be healed. Are you with me?
Yeah.
When you see developed worlds, when they march for their rights, the march is not a march for hunger or for bread or for agbado. So you see the police forming a guard so that there will be safety. But when the march is a march for insurrection or a takeover, there can be conflict and violence and clash that can lead to death and disaster and destruction of buildings. Sometimes these stampedes can even come from where there is joy. Don't forget when Morocco defeated Spain in the World Cup, the Moroccans in Belgium, they were so happy. They started to burn cars and cause the destruction, I think in Turkey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you remember. So sometimes it depends on the motivation. But when people are together and it's hunger that is the common denominator, no force, no armory, no gathering of military men can stop such gathering.
That's why people say talk about stomach infrastructure.
Exactly. But when you invite people for a party and you have 1,000 people planned and you only have food for 500 people, it can also come with some consequences. Because in a party, who do not want to get fed?
Okay, Mr. Nicholas.
I'm trying to just come from the social angle.
Yes. Let's look at it this way.
Okay.
We all know that there is hunger in the land.
Yeah.
The economy, we have skyrocketed inflation. Prices of food item is increasing, and this must have necessitated or caused the stampede. Do you think that we should blame the trio, Olori for ice cream, or the principal of the school, or Amzat for the cause of this stampede? Do you think we should blame them? Because due to the hunger that is in the land and anybody could have done such in kind of kindness. You understand? But due to them, do you think we should play them instead of looking into what the federal government should have done to make that hunger is reduced in the land? Because I remember those days in the time of December or Christmas time, once you have a lot of food at home, you have a lot of things, why should you just go and say that you want to go and carry your children? In fact, I even know that some people are even throwing their children over the fence. You understand? So do you say that would you blame the trio for the cause of this army, or would you blame the federal government for not doing everything possible to make that the hardship in the country is reduced?
Yeah, thank you very much. I come from Imo State, and my ancestors used to say, when you blame the eagle for consuming the chicks of a mother hen, you also blame the mother hen for exposing the chicks. Going into Islam or the Hadith, Sultan Ayubi, he said, when the price of bread is more expensive than the salary of a worker, the pride of men and the dignity of women is shattered. If there was enough food in all local governments in Ibadan, if there was more money in the hands of the farmers and the SMEs, if the roads from Isenyi to Shaki to Ibadan are smooth, and if terrorists are not in there's a place Shey Makinde lately mentioned somewhere in Ibadan, I've forgotten the name, but we remember in the course of the program. People would need to come to Ibadan and come a day before, or even throw their babies over a fence to get access. According to Hamzat, I think they planned for 5,000 or so, and the numbers doubled. And he even tried to make an announcement in his own words that they were okay with number of guests that were being invited. But let me say something. When an eagle is stranded or frightened, it won't go to hide where rats and cockroaches hide. So there's no extent. When people cannot feed, there's no extent they won't go to try and get food. This is true in first world countries, second world countries, and even third world countries.
Are we blaming this on the federal government or the trade?
That's what I'm saying. It's a two-way thing. The hunger in the land is not orchestrated by Iyabasira in Dubai.
Of course.
Or Baba Jamiu in Iwo Road. The first subsidy remover, the inflation, there's hunger in the land. And these stampedes are not only in the southwest. They took place in Abuja, in Maitama. And if you have been in the north, Maitama is not the place for the poor. It took place in Anambra. So you can see that there's a chain reaction. But at the same time, no one wants to see fire and walk into it intentionally. So it's a two-way thing. But we cannot blame Hamzat and Naomi for trying to help the people or the poor. It's like blaming Osime for supplying bags of rice to the widows in Ojota.
Of course.
and Keke Marwa to the young men in Ojota. I think the chairman of Ojota and the speaker and Sanwo-Olu should thank him for helping the government to lower poverty in the local government in Lagos State.
Of course.
You know, but at the same time, there's what they call vicarious liability. But from what I learned, Abdul Habib Fasasi, the principal of that secondary school, I think they followed due process in trying to give access to Queen Naomi and Oyomi Hamzat in Ibadan. But sometimes, just like a plane crash or a flood or an earthquake, sometimes these things become inevitable.
All right. Okay, before we talk more, of course, let's go on for the shorter commercial break, and of course, we'll be back.
Highlight Hotel and Apartment. Wow! Have you been there before? If no, you are really missing out. Skylight Hotel and Apartments is home away from home, built with world-class standard in a very beautiful and serene environment. Our friendly staffs gives our customers a warm welcome with royal treats. Our well-decorated rooms are well ventilated and fully air-conditioned in different sizes such as deluxe, single, and executive, all to suit our customers' tastes. Our bar is top-notch, 24 hours power supply, spacious parking lot, and guaranteed security for your relaxation, vacations, and weekend enjoyment. Skylight Hotel and Apartments is your best bet. We're located at Aduragbemi Junction, Oshuolale, Odiolude, Elega, Abeokuta. Please call 0803 495 4922. Skylight Hotel and
That makes money.
All right,
Yeah.
so welcome back from that short commercial break. And of course, you see United Stampede on NSTV and Lagos. Don't forget, as you're actually watching us right there on YouTube, you can also drop your comments. And of course, we would attend to that. And we're talking about the Ibadan Stampede. And of course, Queen Naomi Oriyomi and the school principal gets bail of 10 million naira.
But sir, there's something I want to get clear. We have Stampede in Anambra, as you said. We have in Abuja. But why is it that the news, people are particular about this Ibadan Stampede? What makes it? Is it because of 35 children died? Or what? Why are they being there? We are Stampede. We have in Abuja. We have in Anambra. Why is it that this Ibadan home was it because it was the first one? Why was it so particular? Why is that it was one that was so particular that people are, angry about, just the public are really talking about?
You know the one in my time happened in the premises of a church.
Okay.
So maybe the Catholics there took it in good faith. Then I think where is it?
I think it's Anambra.
Yeah,
the second
Anambra. Yeah,
Anambra.
the one in Anambra. If you go deep,
Catholic.
that man Mobi Jackson also, he has been doing that for over 15 years. But there was a spike this year too, based on the fact that more people also came. So, but when you look at so sometimes the gravity of an offense is a function of the socioeconomic status of the offenders. The owner of Ife is the most revered man in the southwest of Nigeria, or in Yoruba land.
In Yoruba land, entire Yoruba land.
You know what I'm saying?
Public,
And for a woman with that status, Ibadan used to be the political capital of the southwest.
Or your state.
Yeah.
Secondly, thirdly, I know why you said Ibadan.
Okay.
Yeah. Then thirdly, Obiami Hamzat is a popular journalist
Radio presenter.
in Ibadan.
Yeah.
So it comes with, and don't forget, there was an old saying in Nigeria that did not control the power, the East, the economy, and the Southwest, the press. So it is what the editors and the pressmen like you try to escalate that becomes popular. So it's only natural that given the magnitude of the personalities involved, such case would go viral. And you would also, when you started this story, you mentioned that it was in an Islamic school. It's also vital. Don't forget that at the executive level, we're having a Muslim ticket.
Yeah.
And lately, there's the talk of Sharia coming into Oyo State, and it's because it is a cause of concern for Southwesterners, especially the Southwest Christians, and even the Southwest traditionalists.
Yeah.
Because Nigeria is a secular state or a multi-religious state, depending the synonym or the lexicon you want to use. So it's only natural that it's became popular. Not that there are no cases of, I mean, in the East and the North, there have also been, since this issue, lives have also been lost. But somehow there's a way the Southwest media, or what we call the Western media generally, nationally or globally, is more pronounced or more escalated. Within this period, lives have been lost more.
Yeah.
Okay, but why didn't we stress the 20 young men who died in Owo that led to a curfew? Or the 14 men that died in Abia or Imo State in the last week? So it is what we give credence or popularity or escalates that escalates, in my view. And sequel to that, the West, there are more men and women in the West that have more licenses for radio stations than any part of this country. So their voices are heard more. You can verify that.
Okay, I'll try to do that. I'll try because I'm particularly about the issue.
No. I can tell you with categorically that there are more media houses in the southwest of this country.
Okay. Of course, I agree to that.
Yeah.
But if consider the scenario of the thing.
And the likelihood that the Western line gets license is high than any region. I can tell you that categorically.
Okay, so let's go on. If you look at the scenario of what actually happened before they are being taken to court and granted bail, looking at the issue of religion aspect that you are talking about, Jesus Christ taught us to do good. Prophet Muhammad taught us to, even Oromila that we believe in traditional Yorubas taught us to do good. Do you think that's what really happened in the future? Do you think people who have kind heart like Naomi Shilekola or like Oriyomi Hamzat or like that principal, do you think people will wish to do that kind of a funfair for hungry children in the near future, considering the fact that it's landed these people in problem? Do you think it will motivate others? Maybe like tomorrow now, if you don't have the money that you want to do you think people won't even call you that, please, Mr. Nicholas, do you remember what happened to Oni of your ex-wife, and you think you can do this? Won't there be Stampede? Do you think that this will encourage people to want to do good in the future?
Let me go back to Igbo folklore. In my place, they say where there is love, 10 men will share a bed. It is true that some professors are involved with sex for grades. But do we now stop university education because of those few professors?
No.
It is true that some policemen are careless with their triggers. Do society no longer needs policemen? It is true that some imams and pastors are involved in rituals. Will that make Islam and Christianity no longer necessary in human society?
No.
It is true that some women kill their husbands and men kill their wives. Does that make marriage an institution that we should wash away? No. So there is always a way to do good for those who want to do good. And there's always a reason to avoid good for those who are blind, who have myopia, and who intrinsically do not intend to do good. But I understand that